Hello, everyone. Welcome to this newest episode of Generation BTS, the podcast, where we review BTS albums, but not today. Today, we're here for a very special 10th anniversary celebration episode. So we will be talking about the Festa songs. Yay!
Festa.
It will be exciting. Festa. So we'll go through, there's a few different Festa songs, but we've picked one from each year. So that's going to be what we'll talk about today. And to introduce myself, I'm Christine. I am 29 years old and I have been ARMY, I'm going to say 2 years now. It's coming up to 2 years. And with me, as usual, I've got...
Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm 34 and I've been ARMY about 15 months now.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm 19 and I've been ARMY for 6 years.
Still.
7. Yeah, still 6.
Was it 6 years when we started a year ago?
Is it not 6?
When did you, for Wings? 2016.
16.
You're coming up to 7 years then, because Wings came out October.
Yeah, but we're in May.
Yeah, so like 6 and a half.
6 years, 7 this year.
Yeah, very good. All right, and yeah, like I said, today we're going to be talking about the Festa songs to celebrate the lovely 10th anniversary of BTS. Now, the episode might not be out until July, but yeah, we wanted to do something special for the anniversary, so this is what we came up with, and hope you enjoy. And I know that there was a little bit of, I think you said that there's a few like covers and things that have also been released for Festa.
Yeah, I think there's usually an original and a few covers and whatever.
Yeah, so we've picked one where possible, the original song each year, and we're just going to talk about those like we normally talk about an album, and then give out some Festa season awards, and they'll be in the same format as always. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy. But first, we shall be talking about some recent events. And again, I've done them in member order. So starting off with RM, he had a music video come out with Cold for the song. We already talked about the song. We were okay about it. I haven't listened to it that much since, I'm not going to lie. But have you changed your opinion on the song at all? No? Still think it's...
The music video is pretty boring as well.
Yeah.
I know.
He's just standing by this like round thing, but I'm sure it has meaning in all this stuff.
Is it like a
pool, like a black hole?
Is it like it zooms from clip that I saw it, like zooms in and you don't see it, and I thought, has he fell in it?
It looked like, you know, when you go ice fishing, you do one of those round holes, but I don't know whether that's what it's meant to be. I didn't watch it that intently, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've only watched it a couple of times. He looked great in it.
Yeah.
They did have different coloured mics. Okay. I really wished RM would have had the blue mic.
Yeah.
And that's literally all I thought. I thought, you look really handsome. I wish you had the blue mic.
Yeah.
But then the blue sparkling mic would have stood out in the black and white tone of the whole thing. I don't think it would have gone
with the video.
And I was like,
Yeah, no, I don't think we've talked about his vocal covers. They were nice.
Flawless.
Yeah, we did a little poll on our Instagram story. So I think people preferred the one with the white jumper, where he's like sort of lying down.
And the interview was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He talked a bit about upcoming military and how he was sort of preparing and getting ready. And about how the meaning of life is happiness. And it was very
Yeah. So that's what he's been up to. Jin, still in the military. But he sent us a message for Roast Day, which I'm realizing that this month is almost over, so we're about to get a new message. That'd be nice as well. We'll circle back to you, Jin, because you have contributed to this selection of songs. Suga is back on tour. He's just completed his Indonesian leg. He looked like he had a really bad cold. And then instead of remember he had the whiskey on stage, he had like a ginger lemon thing on stage with him. Yeah, but he said he was doing well. He said he was feeling okay. And he also did his cinema date thing. And his fan calls, yeah. They've put out a Bangtan bomb of the movie date, but I've not watched it yet because I'm too jealous. Stupid Korean armies. Anyway. Yeah, the fan calls were cute though. I've seen a couple of videos of the fan call. There's this one girl that goes, what's that? And he's like pointing at his face and she's like, no, come closer, like that. And he's like, what? And like pointing at his face. And she's like, handsome guy. And he's like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but he looked very bashful.
I did see one fan call and she's like, I've seen you 9 times. And he's like, 9? And she's like, yeah, I went to all these. And I'm like, fuck. How we're expecting her to be like, oh, I went to Wings, I went to this, like a group concert. But no, she's been to every single D-Day tour you can think of.
Oh, she's just been to all 9 of D-Day.
Yeah, I think I saw that one too. And she was like, yeah, I went to all the New York, all the Chicago, all the like friggin' LA dates. Yeah. And she was like, oh, he was like, oh, you saw my concert? And he was like, yeah, 9 times. And he's like, 9? And
he's like, yeah, no more dream? And she's like, no more what?
Yeah. No, she didn't say that, but she must have spent a lot of money trying to see him, so it was nice for her to get
I wonder what seat she got.
Oh, I think
different seats.
No, she was in I think she said in the call she was in standing, because there's a bit where she says like, oh yeah, I always stood right next to the phone that you picked, but it's okay because I'm talking to you now. And I'm like, but yeah, that's what he's been up to. And then J-Hope is also in the military, but he posted some photos of him in his uniform because he completed his basic training.
He's got his phone back. He's still liking the boys' Instagrams and commenting on Weavers.
Yeah. Jimin was in London.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah, we're in London, so he actually came to support me with my pink hair fiasco.
Keep listening for part 2. We'll hear him a little bit.
Yeah, no, we didn't see him. We don't know anything he did except for the Harry Potter world, what he posted on his Instagram. That was it was nice to think that you might see him around when you were out around London. It's the first time many of them's come to London since I've been a fan. Yeah, that was exciting. And I was happy there were no unsolicited photos, let's say. And also his Fast and Furious soundtrack came out, and it's really good.
Angel, that one. Yeah, very good. Like it. Beautiful vocal.
There's loads of other people on it in addition to Jimin, as I'm sure everyone knows, but
they're not as good.
They're not as good now. Tay's been to Paris and to Cannes, I think, as well.
Yeah, he did the Celine show.
Went to Naomi Campbell's birthday party with Park Bo-gum and Lisa from Blackpink. So I don't think it was like it wasn't a Celine show, but it must have been like a Celine event, because all 3 of them were there. And I think he's been more active on Instagram.
I saw his live.
In general. Oh, yeah.
It only lasted a few minutes, and it was like 4 a.m, but I was there, awake. But he was wearing a vest.
Yeah, I saw some translations, and he was talking about how he was still a little jet-lagged. And then the last person we've got to catch up with is Jungkook. He was live again after they announced about Festa. They're going to do something for Festa, which we still don't know exactly what it is, but we've got the little roadmap today. He sang some songs, including the Angel, and he talked about how he was going to cut his hair for the military gradually so that we won't notice. Yeah.
And he couldn't sing so loudly because he'd had a noise complaint from his neighbours.
Oh, yeah.
Not about the music, but about the vibrations.
Yeah.
So he'd apologised to them. And I was like, who are these people?
These friggin' neighbours.
Who have, like, get to live, like, above, next door, below JK, and then put in a noise complaint.
Well, he's building his own house now, isn't he?
Hopefully it's
he won't
soundproof.
have no neighbours.
I think I was more jealous that he had neighbours. I assumed he didn't have any.
Probably old people.
Yeah, I mean, he does sing at like 4 a.m. and like on like Tuesday nights at 4 a.m. So I kind of get it that it's annoying, but
he's the golden matinee.
Yeah,
there will be no complaints had about him.
Maybe like when they see on news, they'll be like, "Oh God, you did a noise complaint."
Maybe they didn't know
for JK.
Maybe they just did it below. Yeah,
just been like, "Oh, this neighbour."
Yeah. Any other updates anyone wants to discuss?
We are going out for dinner tomorrow for our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
The look on Christine's face then was like, what are you talking about, Leanne? How is this relevant? Because we've had our year. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
1 year since we put out the podcast first episode.
Yeah, it's been a motherfucking year, as RM would say. So that is an excellent transition, actually, into our first song, which is celebrating the first year of BTS. So we're right in unison with them, really. I feel like we're on our first year and they're on their 10th year. So yeah, we'll see how long we both end up going. But if we can emulate them, then that'd be good.
We also need them to keep going to enable us to keep going.
Yeah, but we've got a lot of back catalog to get
In 10
through.
years, we might get to solos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if we end up making it to 10 years, we'll do another dinner, I'm sure.
Well, I assume we'll do a dinner next year in 2 years.
Maybe, we shall see. Let's get into the first track. Do you want to tell us about So Far More, Natasha?
Yes, so their first anniversary song was called So Far More. It's an OT7 song released in 2014, and it is based on a pro-eras track, Like Water, but the new lyrics are written by RM, Sugar, J-Hope, and the beat remake was by Slow Rabbit, and the melody by Slow Rabbit and P-Dog.
Do you know who Pro Era was? Because I looked into it for like 2 seconds.
I tried to find it on Spotify, but no, it came up.
Yeah, I did too, but then I YouTubed it and there was a music video for it. But essentially they're like a hip-hop collective from Brooklyn, New York, which included quite a lot of people, like rappers and producers. And the only one I'd heard of was Joey Badass. But apparently it was formed in 2011, so not very long before they put this out. That's all I know about Pro Era.
So the song starts with RM and his classic line, "Yo, it's been a year. It's been a motherfucking year." And his little weird like, haha.
Yeah. We're living in the good life. Living the bad life.
Whatever.
It is the first.
It's not important because we're here.
It is the first one, so it's 2014, right? A little tiny baby Bangtan.
It's after their whole school era they've done that, but I think before Dark and Wild. So yeah, after RM's intro,
it then says, "Even when a year passes and even when another year comes, you and I will be walking on the same melody again, even when the night comes, even when it passes, our performance for a better life will continue."
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
Yeah, in the behind the scenes when he was explaining the lyrics, he was very concerned with actually we are performing for a better life, so you should really try and get that into your singing. So that was that was unclear for anyone, which I'm sure it wasn't.
And then he says, "I don't want to fucking lie. My dream is above Soul Tower. My mind is under the ground floor. Having become a hostage to life, I choose to be ambitious. To get lost and wander is my hobby. Every day I feel clueless and overwhelmed. Like monthly rents, my loneliness is overdue," which apparently the word overdue is referring to how you can get behind schedule, like paying your rent.
Yeah.
So it's like your loneliness is piling up. And then it says, "If you know the antonym for loneliness, lend me some." Oh, so sad.
So you know the opposite word for loneliness. Yeah. It is really sad. Even then, it hurt reading the lyric, thinking that was 2014. But in 2014, he was starting to feel lonely and cut off.
I thought he was talking about how, because he talks about how his dream is above Soul Tower and his mind is under the ground. I thought he was talking about how there's a lot of space still between where he wants to be and where he is, and he feels like he's putting in all this, he gets to it later, but he feels like he's putting in all this work and not really getting to where he wants to be, whereas now he's probably got to where he wants to be and maybe feeling more ambivalent about it than he thought he would.
But when you listen to it, I don't think it's compared to Yoongi's verse, it's not like an angry
no,
it's sad.
They were just talking about because in the behind the scenes, he was also like, "Oh yeah, so I've written this chorus," and then also like the rappers are going to talk about like how we feel about having done this for a year.
He said celebrate, didn't he? The rappers are going to celebrate what it's been like for a year, and we're all going to share our thoughts and feelings.
I also read that he uses the phrase about the antonym to loneliness in his mixtape as well, which came out a year later.
And then he says, There are many places where I belong, but why is it that I can't find the real me anywhere? Who knows? You know. You don't. I know. I don't. It's been a year already, but I can't get used to it no matter how many times I try. Every night standing in front of the mirror and touching the side of my lips, I ask myself, are you really the Kim Namjoon that you've known?
Yeah, constant struggle. He never knows.
Jesus, this is like reflections. The
like
persona,
persona,
intra-persona, who am I? How can you feel that when you're 17?
He was 19, but yeah, clearly he had that on his mind for a long time. But I think they all have talked about being sort of advised to create their idol persona from a really early stage.
Yeah. They're probably more like after a year being like, oh God, I don't know who I am. It's like they've been told like, this is what type of group we want.
Yeah, exactly. This is how we want you to appear as an idol. Yeah.
So then they're like thinking, is this really me?
It could also be like a way of keeping some of parts of yourself private, but then obviously everything that we talked about in the persona episode about when you sort of lose yourself in that persona, that's where the issues come, and you sort of start to think of this persona as yourself, which is why it's interesting, because the expert on Jungian theory was talking about how RM seemed to have such a good grasp on like what is Kim Namjoon and what is RM. But then obviously he's still having these issues with it.
He says, rap doesn't have to be fast rap, and the same goes with life. We all pour oil into water sometimes, wondering why the mountains that are my goals, success and dreams won't get close to me, which is linking back to the Soul Tower that you were on about earlier. I was feeling impatient because the water won't turn into fire even though I tried so hard. Water and oil, they will never mix.
When he says like we all pour water into oil sometimes, I was like, that must be like an expression or something. So I looked it up, but it says it means to like make peace between people who are arguing, but I don't think that's what it means here either. But then he goes on to talk about how he's frustrated at not having the same starting point as a lot of other people. So I think he means as in like he's only got water, but everyone else has got oil, as in like wealthier oil companies.
So no matter what he adds to it, it won't make a difference. His water will never become oil.
Exactly, yeah. You can't like work hard enough to make your water into oil or blend it with the oil. But then
it says, it looked like it would never change, but now things have started. Look at me who came to boil. Soon I'll become a fire and burn with flames.
Yeah. And he still doesn't have any oil, but he's going to bring his water to the boil so that he'll be able to compete with the flames. He's been trying to create success, like reach his ambitions without any of the resources of the bigger companies, and finding that sort of no matter how hard it works, he won't be able to like get there, or at least get there at the same speed. But now he's sort of proving his resolve to still sort of make it work somehow. So yeah.
Then it goes to the vocal where it says, even when a year passes and even when another year comes, you and I will be walking the same melody.
Yeah, it's the same chorus. They take turns singing it though.
They all take one.
So JK does the first one and then V.
Then Jimin.
So that was V's effort that we just heard rendered by Natasha.
I don't think she's going to render them another 4 times, to be honest.
No, so...
I liked it. It reminded me of early Bangtan, where they just share it out amongst the vocalists.
Yeah.
It's like, we're a rap group. We've only got one vocal bit. But there's 4 of you, so we'll just do that bit over and over.
Yeah, at least they didn't make them share, which sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do,
yeah.
Jungi says, a year without any space of comfort. I was walking on thin ice. I don't know where I'm going. The conflict of my emotions through my deep sigh now belongs to yesterday. I still can't sleep, even at night. Confusion that was expected. Sleepless nights continue. A prison that is envy, jealousy, and competition oppresses and suffocates me frequently. My future is like an inkwash painting.
Yeah, a simulacra, I think is what he says, but that means inkwash painting. So it said, the translation I read says that he means like my future is blurry.
The 2-letter word success that fills my mind. Things I have to do and things I want to do I'm Gulliver standing in between the two. Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Okay. So you take a quick break to talk about those. Yeah. Like, without any space for comfort, I wrote that we know that they lived in a very small physical space at this time. So he's talked about on Surpriseeee there being 11 of them in one room at one point, but I think by this time there probably were only the 7 of them. But he was struggling with the schedule, obviously saying that he couldn't sleep at night. Obviously he's talked about being consumed with ambition and he wants to prove all his doubters wrong. And then the reference to Gulliver, the second Gulliver reference we've had, we talked about it in Finebreaker. And apparently there's also one on Dark and Wild. So I've bought the book now, Gulliver's Travels. I'm going to read it and get back to you because I wasn't sure what this meant, but apparently it refers to how Gulliver was caught between an ideal and a fantasy world and reality. So obviously he's talking about the things he has to do and the things that he wants to do. But in the book, Gulliver travels to all these far off places and then meets like tiny people and then giants and then like all sorts of other things. So I'd assume that that's the fantasy world, but I think those worlds are meant to be like satirical and not necessarily like ideals. But I'll come back to you after I've read the book.
Have I achieved my dream or lost my dream? Still don't know. Have I put off my dream of success? Behind the smile I put up like a fool, exactly a half of me is crying. This is the evidence of my confusion about my identity. Reality and ideal. I get numb gradually and frustrated. My sigh grows bigger from the thirst for and the conflicts about music.
Yeah. So I'm guessing like he didn't want to be like, he didn't try it to be an idol. That wasn't his dream. He just wanted to work with music. So he's saying he might have like given up his actual dream to
be successful.
Yeah. Then he's also kind of showing the first signs of recognizing the idol persona where he's saying like, behind my smile, I'm crying. So the smile he sort of has to put on. I think that it looks like they're still sort of, at this point, obviously they're not very successful. So they're still doubting whether they can be successful and sort of live off their music at this stage, is what I'm getting from my sigh grows bigger from the thirst for and the conflict about music.
Spoiler alert, difficult. Get rich.
No, yeah.
He makes it.
Yeah, you're gonna get there.
Spoiler alert, there's a happy ending.
I think all our listeners hopefully know that already, so we've not spoiled anything for them, but
they're like, oh my god, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna attack me? Oh my god, I can't wait for the next episode.
Well, we'll hear as we go. They get more confident.
They do get more confident
in a few songs' time. Not gonna lie. So
I really liked the research for this episode. You can really see them develop and just get more comfortable to the point where Aram's like, yes, I'm going to just sing about my bicycle.
Yeah.
Whereas like, imagine 2014 Bangtan, like how much they would have agonized over you can see that from the Bangtan bomb. They're agonizing over the lyrics, they're agonizing about the need to celebrate, they want to work really hard. They're in that room where they play the prank on RM and he asks them if you want Bangtan or to go solo. Like it's all around that time when they're trying so hard, and then like 6 years later, he's like, so I've written this about my bicycle. And they're like, love it, let's put it out. The levels of confidence.
Yeah, I guess it's also like, this is like, yeah, hip hop. And then later on you get the like, oh, I'm just going to sing a little last song we can listen to on your bike.
Yeah. I love you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we have an arc, guys. It gets there. They do the chorus again, and then J-Hope goes,
the time over that I can feel occupied with my life. Didn't realise the steps I took for 1 year. I'm ill when the sun goes up, and at night I write lyrics again. I live every day of my life like a live performance. There's no lip sync.
Well, yeah, what guy? Never lip syncs ever. No. But I read that it reminds me of Disease, the song from B, where he talks about being ill with ambition. I don't know if that's what he's talking about here, but maybe it's with like exhaustion or something. In the Bangtan Bomb as well, he's like on his computer, like writing lyrics, and then he's recording them, and then he's back on the computer, and then he's like...
It's like obsession, right? He's obsessed with it.
Yeah, there's a bit of it in the Hope in the Box documentary as well, which I've not watched all of because we're going to see it in the cinema at the start, where he's like, I don't know why I'm pushing myself so hard. It's just who I am. There's a bit where he talks to his dad on the phone and he's like, oh, you're in Seoul today. Well, I can't come see you because I've got too much work to do. And he's like, no, I've just got to do this work, actually. So after that's when he's like, there's no one telling me, like, you have to do this work today. It's just who I am. It's just my personality.
And then he says, with this effort, I open the door of my beginning. The more I sweat, the bigger my stage gets. Cheer and applauses. The support feels like a gift to me. As more attention is drawn, my eyes already get teary. I feel burdened by the amount of love I receive. Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
They've all got these worries at this point in time.
So early on.
So many worries.
Be worried.
Yeah. But I guess, like, this is the time when you're worried, and then maybe there was a period around, like, Wings Love Yourself when they were like, oh yeah, we've made it, we've done everything we wanted to, and then now it's like, what do we do now? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's less worried and more reflections on the time. So there's still worries around the Love Yourself era, there's still worries on Map of the Soul, there's still worries in Indigo and D-Day.
Yeah.
They're just they live at this stage within a early idol, so they don't have that. They just don't have the breadth of experience to worry about much more.
Yeah, but then also
successful.
Yeah, but that would be like your main concern at this point in time. If you like, they trained for about 3 years, most of the rappers. If you put in all that time, you sort of sacrificed studies, sacrificed honing your skills at anything else. And now you're like a year in, you maybe not as successful as you thought you might be. Then obviously that would put pressure on you. But like he says, obviously more success and more fans also come with more pressure.
I thought it was really interesting how early it was. Because they're not fully formed, but they are who they are. Aram's verse is an Aram verse. As is Youngi's one, as is Hobie's one. Like, Aram's is sad and lonely. Youngi's is reflective. A bit angry, reflective, and lacking and sleeve, but unsure about the ambition. And then Hobie's is like over ambitious, but hopeful. They're still showing those parts of their personality and their vulnerability all the way back in 2014.
Yeah, as much as we talk about idol personas and everything like that, you can see that they're
authentic.
Yeah, exactly,
they're themselves.
Yeah. They're themselves, yeah.
And that stays with them throughout. They don't lose. They lose some and they mature. Like, all three of them mature.
Things change, people change, everything change. Yeah.
I also thought Bang PD must have been at this time like just still so certain.
Yeah.
Bang PD had such a sense of vision for this group when the boys didn't know if it was the right thing to be doing that. They're really unsure. He's like,
but then I also don't think
we're doing. I want you to be authentic. I want you to share your story and tell your story.
Yeah, I also don't think that those boys wouldn't have gone for like let's have an idol group where you sing and dance and like jump around and just we give you this song and you do the choreo. Like, they wouldn't have been like, great, awesome, I'll join that. And maybe some of them would have, but it feels like a good fit. Yeah. You want to do the last few bits?
Yes, and then it continues to say, I have a good sense, but it's not mature yet, which on the Dual Set website, she says that can be a feeling or a sense, or it can be persimmon.
Yeah.
As a fruit.
Yeah.
Love that, actually. I love them fruits.
Okay.
Persimmon.
I don't think I've had one.
So the feeling is good, but it's bitter. It's a pun.
There's a lot of those coming out in these lyrics later.
Yeah, and then it says, I try ironing myself, smoothing out my wrinkled mind, rewinding myself. No matter how stormy it gets, Bangtan comforts me.
You should print off, put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It should be more famous amongst ARMY.
Yeah.
Let's get it trended.
I liked all
the idea of comfort, right?
The whole lyric, really, where it says, I try ironing myself, smoothing out my wrinkled mind. I'm like, that's relatable. And then he's like, but Bangtan comforts me. I'm like,
And the rewind. So they're looking down the video, let's do one more dance practice, that constant review and reflection.
Yeah.
That even if it's ironed, it still needs reflecting.
Yeah. No, I thought the like smoothing out the wrinkles and stuff was like, your confused thoughts and all his like worries and all the stuff that he's mentioned above. But I guess we can also like apply it to the smoothing out of their performance wrinkles.
And then he says, my steps will take me to success. Wanna be now?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm serious, shining brighter than all of the stars. At this moment, I'm still a born singer. Hold my mic.
Yeah.
Big star.
Yeah. Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky. I looked that up. Its name comes from the Greek word for glowing or scorching. And then he's a born singer, which obviously I think everyone gets that reference. But if you don't, it's for a song called Born Singer that they put out on the Proof album as an album song, but they initially did it back around this time, I think. So yeah, first anniversary song finished. Yeah, it was a good one. I like it.
It's hip-hop.
It's hip-hop, but like reflective.
It's not as
reflective
hip-hop
hip-hop
as the 2015 one.
The 2015 one we'll get on to. But yeah, I only wrote that I think this one very much does what the verses say. They're not trying to be like, yay, everything's great, but instead they're giving us a view of their struggles and fears while showing their gratitude for the support that they've received so far. So yeah. And I put thank you to the armies that were there at the time. I think it's easy being an army these days because we've got all the content and all the backlog. But at this time, they only had those first 3 albums and they were there supporting them. So without you guys, we wouldn't have them. If anyone's an OG army, thank you.
And those armies, I'm sure their friends were like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not Bangtan. Like, there's all these other brilliant idol groups who are so much more handsome.
Bigger
but
companies.
Like, from bigger companies. Like, this is ridiculous. You like those Bangtan boys? No.
Yeah.
Whereas now, who's laughing?
Exactly, yeah.
I think in the building that we visited, that wall would have been empty.
Yeah.
Would have been no, we will wait.
Oh, that wall would have been empty.
Yeah,
the first time building.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't understand, when we went to Korea, we went to the old BTS studio building, which is like, there's this whole big wall where you can write your messages to BTS on the wall. Yeah. But like loads of people have already vandalized it. So, yeah, it's not like really that vandalizing.
Everyone walking past is like, oh.
Yeah, those crazy armies.
Yeah, so there's messages from like all around the world. It's really nice. But yeah. It is weird though, because sometimes I was in it on your Spotify. So For More comes up as second grade on Dark and Wild, but this is the actual So For More. So if anyone's confused, I'm confused. So if anyone knows, please do write in. We'll give you our socials at the end of part 3.
Yeah, it was confusing trying to figure out all the songs.
Yeah, so if anyone's got any insights, feel free to let us know. Should we talk about the links that we found? I've not put performances for this one because a lot of them aren't performances. There weren't that many performances of this stuff, unfortunately.
If you weren't at the Magic Shop Muster, you never saw any of it.
Yeah. The first one I've linked is a Bangtan bomb of them recording the song, which we've already referred to. They've got a bit of a chat at the start where RM sort of explains his vision for the song, but he keeps forgetting the lyrics, and then Jungkook remembers them. They're like, oh, Jungkook, it's as if you wrote this, and Jungkook's like, yeah, I wrote this. I wrote the whole thing.
And he's sort of doing it in a way that's like as if I could write a song.
Yeah.
And then, with the 2022 one, he just dropped a banger.
He did, yeah.
Spoiler, JK does write songs.
He does later, yeah.
Oh, do you think that baby JK knew that he'd go on to write his own songs that were just as good? From the look on his face, he did not.
No. And they're in the like hip-hop apparel era, clothes-wise, is what I put. Yeah, logo tees and hoodies and stuff.
He's wearing the beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've all got great skin, nice and shiny.
Oh, yeah.
And the eyeliner, though.
Really
JK's got the eyeliner, hasn't he?
Not
in the recording, in the performance they did. We only found one performance. It was a fan cam, so it's terrible quality, but it's in Manila on the Red Bullet tour. The quality on the first link in the Google Doc is really shaky, so I do apologize. There's a second link that's a lot better, but they started after RM had done his verse, obviously. We needed to include both so that you could also see the outfits. Although they're not all bad, to be honest.
RM's red hair is nice, though.
Yeah, he's got the fire engine red hair, the same one that he has in when they did the Battle of the Bands with Black Bee.
Yeah, it's different.
It's not great.
I don't hate it, but yeah. I think it's been styled better other times, but
there is some points where I just think it looks like the light that's shining on his head.
Yeah. It looks a bit like a clown. Like if it was curly, like Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all wearing these black trousers and white tops. It's not that interesting, to be
He's
honest.
wearing the beanie again.
So they kind of just walk back and forth on stage while they sing.
Yeah.
They do some arm waving.
Yeah, they do.
Microcosmos
They
arm
do.
wave.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys, let's get on it.
Everyone wave, yeah.
And in the background, it's got the numbers of like going 1 to 30, 1 to 31, and then each month. And then when it gets to June, it's got 13 with a star.
Aww.
Yeah, that's sweet. Any final thoughts on So For More? Liked it?
It's cute.
Yeah.
It is better than I expected, because Natasha made the SoundCloud document, and I didn't actually look at the SoundCloud document. I asked Christine for them so I could download them on YouTube and listen to them on the plane. I just got them in a random order, and then I just listened through them from whatever, but literally whichever one Christine remembered first.
Yeah.
So like Deng was number 1. So I thought, when I've been listening to them, like, Bulletproof, part 1 was obviously the first one, and then I thought Deng was earlier. But then when I saw it, and I was like, 2014, no, that's way too early for So For More. It's such like a good package of a song, and it's OT7, surely not. And then when I watched the Bangtan Band and the performances, I was like, oh, it's Baby Bangtan. Baby Bangtan's so talented. So I liked that.
Oh, that's good. That is good. All right. Well, moving swiftly on then, you mentioned that We Are Bulletproof Part 1 is another OT7 track. It was based on one they did before debut, and not all of them were there at the time, which we'll get onto. But it's an OT7 track. It was released for Festa in 2015, and according to the BTS wiki page, this was written and produced by RM, but I think Suga and Hobi must have written their own lines, just because Yoongi uses some of his verse again in his Augusty mixtape, and there's no like RM credit on that song. Anyway, we've already talked about this a little bit when we did Too Cool for School. So this was a pre-debut song originally, and was recorded by RM, Iron, and Supreme Boy.
Oh yeah,
when they were meant to be called BPB.
BPB.
The song was meant to be called We Are BPB.
Somebody
have gone like, we are BPB, we are BPB.
I rather than We Are Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Because they were what were they called?
Bulletproof Boys.
Bulletproof
so it might have
Boys. It would have still been Bulletproof.
Bangtan Boys. And they've rewritten some lines, I think, to like make it suitable for OT7, but there's some stuff still in there. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to it.
Technically, you should be referring to him as Rap Monster.
Yeah, fine, you're right.
And I want
he
to
doesn't
roll
like
that
to be a
monster, but he is a monster back then.
Fine. Okay.
Call him Rapmon if you're close to him.
I will.
Yeah.
All right, so Rap Monster.
Good one.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good. It's because you do roll your eye.
Yeah, I do,
in Norwegian,
In Norwegian, we do, yeah. So I'm very skilled at rolling eyes. So, yeah.
Some listeners might worry that JK's in the room, but he's not. That was Christine.
Yeah. So, Rap Monster, he starts this song. He goes, "We are bulletproof. WE, do the damn thing. Suckers better out because of we causing some crashing, man." Yeah, okay, make of that what you will.
We caused some crashing, man.
Okay, but this line is kind of cool. So Jungkook then raps it. It's pretty good, actually. And your rap is like the comic Gourmet. There's only vanity. And I found out that there was a comic called Gourmet that got turned into a TV show, actually. But it was written by a guy called Ho Young-man. But apparently, if you say that name as one word, Ho Young-man, it means only vanity.
Oh, nice.
That's clever.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you have no money for cigarettes. Why do you only have lights or fire every day? The word for fire that he uses is a homonym for complaints. So why, like, you don't have any money for cigarettes? Actually, he's only got complaints every day. And then RM says, Rap Monster now. Says, you put your fists up like that every day until the dawn. Now I'll let you go. There's two meanings to this phrase. The first meaning is you're always throwing punches at me, but now I'll let you go. But the fist could also mean rock in rock, paper, scissors. And I'll let you go is a homonym with I'll give you paper. So it could mean you always use rock, but I'll give you paper now.
I'll always win.
Yeah, exactly. My rap is like a broken compass. There's no needle for direction. And again, the needle is a homonym for fatigue. So he could be saying there's no tiring me out. And then he says, this song can't escape from humanity. That's our fate. The people who listen to my rap stay civilized. Damn. And apparently civilized is a reference to a game called Civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And the word also sounds like the word for fate. So there's the slang that people say about people who are addicted to or like fated to lose themselves to this game. So really he's saying, stay addicted to my rap.
Like you would Civilization.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The people who listen to my rap stay addicted. Damn.
That's a true story.
Exactly. And then we get into the really deep chorus, which is, we are bulletproof, we are bulletproof, okay, we are bulletproof, we are bulletproof, okay. And then they go on like that. I will not repeat it the 8th time. So
Which
it
at
actually
this
comes
stage
up.
means very little.
Yeah.
But later would grow to mean lots more.
Exactly. We are forever bulletproof is a much better chorus because it means more. And then we have Jin.
Oh.
Yeah. Jin's
attempted rap. No, it's worse in this than it is in Deng.
Yeah, it's
in
like,
the Deng performance where they switch vocal line and
it's the
line.
worst of the group, but obviously he's in a group with like he might be a better rapper than like me or like any of us, but like he's just not as good as this cohort of people.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hate on Jin. Obviously he's an excellent vocalist and everything, but when he raps it just comes out as like so apologies to Jin, but it's not your fault because you're not there to rap, so don't worry.
Spoiler, it gets better.
Yeah, you write your own songs
and
too.
He does look the best.
He does exactly, very much so at this time. So yeah, Jin says, we are bulletproof, soon my time is coming, so everyone hold your breath, BP coming soon. So BP stands for bulletproof.
Oh, what? No.
Yeah.
And it is better than, my name's Jin, I'm so Jin. When I get on the stage, you call me Jin. We rhymes Jin with Jin in the Circle Room Cypher.
My name is Jin, and my stage name is Jin. That's
They
true.
all scream, Kim Suk Jin. Yeah, it's better than that one.
My fans. Well done, handsome.
But also RM did write it.
Yeah.
Jin didn't write it, whereas I think in the Circle Room Cypher
he did write that, yeah. It's also really funny. Like, I thought it was really funny. Yeah. So, J-Hope says, Bangtan is running, step till dawn, we are rider. And then Sugar says the same thing. V says, you drew a dragon on body, but are you sure you aren't a gangster? But I'm Neutrogena deep clean, just come out as foam, which I remember is the line that we drew out in the second episode that we ever did.
Yeah.
Apparently drawing a dragon is a homonym with struggling hard.
Ooh.
So you're struggling hard, but are you sure you aren't a gangster? Which doesn't make that much sense, but yeah. And then Jimin says, and Jimin's not a much better rapper than Jin, this should be said. My swagger isn't pretending to be the school bully or pretending to be a millionaire. The difference in our ability level, I'll show you on stage. And then they do the chorus again. We are bulletproof. We are bulletproof. And then J-Hope says, we are bulletproof.
They've just said it 8 times, but if you're not sure, Hobie's here to remind you.
Yeah, they're bulletproof. You can't aim your guns at us. My Bangtan is better than the other bastards. As in, our members are better than others.
Aww.
Cute. I don't care. I don't look below me. Those who receive the bullets, focus. Because I'm a tough guy.
He doesn't have a tough bone in his body, does J-Hope?
If you're gonna diss, just pull down your pants, suckers. Okay, so there's an explanation. So apparently pull down your pants.
No, don't explain it. That's just what he wants you to.
It just comes up as a bit of a different verse if you just think that. Just like, you're not a fan of mine? Just off with those pants.
I'll make you a fan.
Oh, wow. No. Okay. Apparently the pull down your pants is there because the word for diss can also be used as a derogatory term for undress. So it doesn't make that much sense, but he's just said, if you're gonna diss, as in like a derogatory term for undress, just pull down your pants. So it links, if you're gonna undress, then just pull down your pants, I guess, Sugar then says, copying me, I overcame the bastards who copy. Doesn't matter if they're Hubei or Sumbe, which means like juniors or seniors, more or less experienced than me. I poach them. being good for nothing, being whack, being fake. My body is carving history into this place. I'm the savior of this place. And like I said, he repeats almost this entire verse as verse 2 on the song August Eve, which he released in 2016, so about a year after this. He says, "You heard we the bulletproof." I'm sorry.
You're really getting into the sound effects this episode.
Well, it's meant to sound like a scratching.
Yeah.
Noise.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
On mine it says,
Like on my disc.
He's so cute. And as well because he's so like, his little like head banded and stuff. It's just like,
He is the coolest guy in the world now.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be that cool. Spoiler, he gets cooler.
If you would have done that in D-Day, you might have got a higher score.
Not for me.
For
me, maybe.
From Natasha,
Yeah. Well, you can work on that then.
It's always good to have goals.
Exactly, yeah. And then they do We Are Bulletproof, We Are Bulletproof again. Arm does some new ad-libs where he says, "You know, this is the future shock, baby, haha." And then, "You better watch us from now on. This is Bulletproof, yeah." And then he says, "All the haters go down."
Go down where?
Downtown. Okay, anyway. What do we think of this song, guys? It's not my favorite, even though it is a rap-heavy song, so we can start there. It's just really repetitive. The chorus is just... The rap's like a bit boring. I don't know. It's like fast, but not.
If I'm in like a silly goofy mood and it's on, I'm like, oh, this is so fun.
So fun.
Like when I was listening to it, walking around like shopping, and I was just like, oh my god, these people don't know what I'm listening to. I'm going around being like, we are bulletproof. We are like being all gangster.
That's how I feel listening to Super Tuna. When you're
Yeah.
getting really serious and you're like, Super Tuna.
No one knows. I'm surprised it came after Sophomore.
Yeah, same.
In my head, it's the first one, and they get off the hook because it's the first one. But they did record a lot of it and write it earlier. There's a through line.
We Are Bulletproof Part 2 was already out, so they were probably like, fans are going to wonder what this Part 1 is.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So,
and we've got it, and it's a special gift for those fans who want to know the origins.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for that. But
thanks for that. But moving on.
No, it's fine. I wrote that it does the same thing as some of the early songs in the cyphers. Like it lets them bang on about the haters and how much better they are, which is true. So
which is true.
Keep just spreading those facts, guys. It's cool.
You put in one performance.
Yeah, it was the only one I could find of this. It's from the BTS Begins concert series, which was in March 2015, so a little bit before Festa, actually. I put Sugar looks adorable in his little bandana tied at the front.
Does not look adorable.
He does. He looks adorable.
He looks like a little baby.
Exactly.
Trying to be swaggy, which is very confusing for everyone there.
Adorable.
Jin looks great. Because
I didn't write anything about anyone else.
Oh my god, I'm so shocked. Imagine if you were still pretending to be a V-bias.
Actually, I have written about, there's a good bit of Tegral for the Neutrogena deep clean bit.
There is?
Yeah. And JK doesn't look that young, is what I've written.
JK doesn't look that young. Aaron's got the awful side shape.
Oh, yeah.
With the
I don't hate that much.
I've always hated it.
Yeah.
And Hobie looks really young. I'd say he's got a bit of coconut.
Oh, tough.
No one's really pulling it off.
If you're confused about coconut, it's like the bowl haircut thing that sometimes they have, especially when their hair's not been styled. My favorite bit is when at the chorus, when they like jump around and have their arms out back like they're airplanes, and then they do this little jump and then they switch up.
In the hype man jump. I'd just be confused.
I don't know whether they'd also like said before at all that they were doing this, because like if not, then none of these people who are at this concert would know this song.
Yeah, but that's probably why it's like, we are bulletproof, because once you write one, you're like, right.
Yeah.
You
can sing along.
Yeah. And they must have known something because they got the army bombs.
Oh.
So.
They knew that they were at a BTS concert, I guess. Fair bet to bring out that army bomb. I was like, oh my god, I've got this with me by chance.
I'm just going to pull down my pants.
I came as a hater, but then I didn't end up throwing out my pants. But actually now I've got this article.
So forgive me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, anyway, if you went to that concert, I hope you had a lovely time and that you were able to sing along with the very complicated chorus, which I'm sure you were. All right. Shall we move on? I know.
2015 to 2016.
I know.
I know.
It's just RM and JK in this
By
one.
our boys.
Aye. It's written by RM and produced by RM and P-Dog.
That dog. Roof,
That
roof.
big dog, yes.
Roof, roof, roof.
Yeah, love that guy. That P-Dog.
So it starts off with JK saying, "Know you love me, girl, so that I love you. Know you love me, boy, so that I love you." One of the notes is that the use girl and boy and love, like not limiting it to just female fans.
Yeah, I think that was the sentiment. But I did read that some people have taken it as a LGBTQ plus support song, which I guess you could also interpret it as. So
next line is, "Thank you so much for being by this side for 3 years."
Exactly. It's their third anniversary.
Now you love me, girl, so that I love you. Now you love me, boy, so that I love you. I'll be by your side for you always. Don't worry about a thing, my love.
Yep.
And then RM comes in. It's a really nice vocal.
Yeah. Good, great RM vocal.
I know. That this red carpet laid out in front of me is the tears of blood of someone who loves me.
Yeah, it's dramatic.
JK's like, "I love you all. Thank you for being our fan." Aaron's like, "This is your tears of blood. I'm so sad."
Yeah, I think he means as in like the efforts of the fans that support them has led to their recent success. Because by this time they're like reasonably successful with HYYH.
When I read it, first thing that came to mind is the Twilight scene where she's like having a nightmare and everyone's piled up in all dead. She's able to kill them all and.
I don't think that's what it's referring to.
That's how I pictured though, like all these dead people and blood pouring out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that is tough. Yeah, that's probably not what he's saying there.
After he referenced Snowpiercer, who's right on that Twilight.
And then he says, "Perhaps that's why it's red. I know. Your gaze remained fixed on me that day. Can't be replaced by anything in the world. A peace shared between only you and me." It's so cute.
So the fans that have seen him at like a concert or a fan meeting or whatever, he wants to treasure those memories with just them and him. Yeah.
Oh, an angel boy.
Yeah.
And then it's the bit which says, "Say to me if you love me, tell me if you're same with me. For my people who I'm thankful for, the only thing I can do to sing for you, say I love you, tell you that I love you too. I'll sing with all my heart if you can hear my voice."
Yeah.
JK does a beautiful
vocal.
Yeah. No, they take turns singing the bits as well because there's quite a lot of RM singing.
This is probably like one of the first songs I listened to with like RM vocal.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if you scroll down to the bottom of my 2016-2017 playlist that I made on SoundCloud, he's down here.
Yeah, so they do the chorus again twice and then that's the end of the song. So that's Did you have more?
No, I just forgot where I was.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, it's a really short song. There's not a lot of lyrics.
Really short song, yeah.
Because I was listening to it the other day just to like infer a part or something, and I was like, how is this song like 2 minutes 47 seconds? It's like there's literally no lyrics here. But the ones that are there are nice, you know, and they want to sing to us because they're grateful. So yeah.
And Aaron wrote it and gave it to JK to sing
with himself.
Come on, my boy. We're gonna I saw a meme that was like JK going live again because he's got so many mental bitches to take care of. And that reminded me of that, where I was like, come on, we've got these crazy bitches. We need to sing something for them.
Yeah.
They're mental. We need to like support them, comfort them. Come on.
Yeah. It kind of is the same vibe of the Serendipity like demo by RM, where he's like, but then you listen to that and you're like, actually, that's quite good. But then it's like, Jimin, come on. I guess like it'd be weird if they randomly did a Festa song and then we're like, oh, it's just one person.
Yeah, well,
So it's
they
like,
do
it's just
later.
Jen.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, it's his 3rd anniversary. Got another banger, but it's a bit vocally, but like, oh, I can't do it on my own.
Well, they do songs on their own later when we get there.
But that's after you've had like an album.
Yeah.
Of solos.
Especially for RM, he's always got to bring one of his kids along. But yeah, it's cute. I like it. I like RM and JK together as a pairing with the whole I joined BTS because of RM. Any Namkook I'm in.
I found a couple of links. I don't know where this is from at all, but there is a clip of them performing it. Jungkook's in like a black outfit and RM has like a black beret and a camel coat, and they've got the hair from Blood, Sweat and Tears. But it's nice. They just sing the song really.
I was a little bit confused on why RM's wearing a big coat.
No, JK's wearing a big coat, or is it a blazer?
Well, I was kind of thinking, like, is it just like a practice? But then it like zooms out and there's people there.
Yeah,
and
there's
you're like,
people.
why is he?
No, JK's wearing a coat inside as well. He's wearing like a black roll neck and then a overcoat.
Is like coat just looks like a bit like a jacket, like when they do like Not Today and they've got like the bombers on. RM's wearing like a long. Big
it's like an
coat.
outer coat,
No, but JK's is an outer coat. It goes all the way to his knees. Yeah, maybe that's just weird styling.
Yeah, I think so. There's also a clip of them doing the Japanese version. It says that's at a Japan fan meeting, so maybe this was a Korea fan meeting.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it wasn't part of the tour set list, I don't think. There's also a third clip which I thought was quite strange, but it's like an ad for Puma, but there's only the 2 of them in it.
So that one is like they do it in little units. So there's that one, and then I think there's the riding around on a bike, or like Jimin spills some lemons.
So there's like a range of adverts for that.
Yes,
Puma. This one's got the 2 of them in it.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, the Puma ad's cute. They look happy.
It's an advert.
Yeah. Well, then,
so they can be like, so I've got my Puma stuff on, I'm miserable.
They look so happy. Puma makes you miserable.
There actually is another clip that I included, which is just them singing the song, like the first few bars of the song, like a cappella, and then Tae's behind them making these like
He's
big
looking
eyes.
Longingly like they're the best thing that
them.
ever happened to him.
Yeah, Tae's got a bit of a fanboy in him. We'll see that in this series. But yeah, there's a clip of him doing a funny reaction to a couple of lines of the song as well for your enjoyment.
Yeah, and then Jimin comes to comfort him. And RM does the little finger hat on his cheek.
Cute,
very cute.
All right. Well, shall we call it there for part 1 of this Festa run through?
Yes.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And I've been Christine.
I've been Leanne.
And I've been Natasha. And we have been
Generation BTS. Happy Festa.